does it better. Bond. James Bond is back. In the latest action-adventure Die Another Day, starring Pierce Brosnan.
Okay, good. Show me the strike, please.
And director Lee Tamahori is the man responsible for keeping the legendary 007 on an all-time high.
Action! You can't have a Bond movie without action. It's not possible. It is part of the almost the formula of Bond movies. People expect big action, and they expect it bigger all the time. I wanted to do some gigantic scale action. Some of the stuff we put in here was not written in the movie. I made it bigger.
They always pack a punch, Bond films, but of the ones that I've done, this is way ahead of the game.
Making the ambitious action a reality was up to second unit director and stunt coordinator Vic Armstrong, working on his 7th Bond film.
The Bond action has traditionally been a great driving force during a Bond film, so our job is to try and come up with exciting moments.
Nice smooth, coming nice and fast and smoothly stop.
Vic Armstrong is a hero in my book. He's a man who has put the gold dust on these films, has a great sense of style, so I couldn't do it without him.
High praise indeed from Britain's greatest secret agent. In one amazing scene, Bond and his nemesis Zhao battled it out in a slick car chase on ice.
The entire ice chase probably took 3 months in total to shoot. And that's just dogged hard work by a solid, dependable action unit crew working around the clock.
As a tribute to the early Bond films, 007 was reunited with an old friend, the Aston Martin, a car not originally designed for frozen wastelands.
That Aston Martin originally cost about $250,000, but we've spent nearly $200,000 modifying them by putting our own racing engines in and gearboxes, which we could only use on the ice lake, otherwise we could never achieve what we went for out there. So they're quite expensive vehicles at the moment.
The barren landscape of this frozen lake in Iceland posed a unique challenge for Vic.
It's just the two protagonists in it, Bond and Zhao. So it was quite a challenge to come up with an interesting chase on ice with no things to interact with, if you like. So there's no animals, no polar bears to swerve around, apart from icebergs.
Precision stunt driver Ray DeHaan doubled Bond, and George Cottle was the double for Zhao.
There was quite a lot of pressure, and the sequences were done at speed. I mean, it's all real speed. There were some moves where we was coming through some very tight alleyways, and we had to change direction quite a lot. And when you drive on very slippery gravel or ice, you're predicting 2 turns ahead where you're going to go, so you've got to make the decision back there. So if that decision's wrong, you're going to come out wrong at the other end.
So, did Ray always make the right decisions?
We had one mishap where, I'm not going to make excuses, I hit an iceberg basically, and we wrote off a car, and I had 4 days off with severe concussion. But yeah, that's the nature of the game.
Once Vic was happy with the chase sequence, it was time to film the car flips. But there was a problem. The 10-inch thick ice on the frozen lake was too thin to withstand that sort of a battering. So Vic relocated everything to an airfield in England, where they recreated Iceland. Vic's first challenge was to simulate Bond's car being flipped by a rocket explosion. But very sensibly, he wasn't going to risk the souped-up Aston Martin on early trials.
It's critical it landed on its roof, didn't roll too far, didn't go half over. It had to land straight on its roof, slide in a dead straight line.
We'd covered the ground with a silicone so that it was very slippery. It would slide along on its roof. And because a stunt like that, there's quite a lot of damage to the car. So it's not something we can just do over and over again. So it's worth spending those extra hours so that we get it right the first time.
Then it was time for the real thing. A device called a pipe ramp was bolted to the ground and covered in grease to reduce any friction on the car.
I line the car up to the ramp. It's about 4 inches in from the driver's side wheel, which I'll be touching the ramp with. Then it's a matter of holding onto the steering wheel, and it's a bit of a bumpy ride.
The car slid a nice long way, which will take us into the next cut, which is the car sliding along, then firing itself back onto its wheels using its ejector seat as a cannon.
A towing mechanism and a small explosion flipped the car back on its wheels.
Perfect. Wonderful. Okay.
For the grand finale, the car must jump through the Ice Palace walls, but Vic didn't want to write off the Aston.
Normally when you see cars jump, they go up like that and they come down very nose first. They always land nose first and they break the back of the car. Then you cut to another angle and the car zooming down the road all nice and level again. Obviously you've changed the car, which is a cheat that I try to avoid if I can.
Vic had designed this pipe ramp where he'd got two pipes, put them together, and they extend 14 feet. And usually when you take a car off of a ramp, its flight is governed by the suspension, and it can throw it in all different angles. But by running up two steel bars which are covered in grease, you get a nice flight.
But what goes up must come down. So, to break the fall, the set was loaded with bales of compressed snow.
The old saying of the stuntmen is, it's not the falling that hurts, it's the stopping. So therefore, the longer you take to slow down, the less it's going to hurt.
A few finishing touches to the set, and they were ready for action.
That was 60, yeah?
Yeah.
Right. And turn over! Speed! And action! 5, 4, 3,
An awesome stunt, and the car lived to drive another day.
You have a bit of adrenaline flowing through your body, so sometimes, you know, you're a little bit shaky, a little bit, but you've done exactly what you thought you would do, so it's quite nice to walk away afterwards. It was great to be able to double for Bond himself, so for a moment I was James Bond.